Okay, so let's say you've got a map that you've been building. You just want to bring the reinforcements mission on so that you can have a bit of a test and test your map out a bit, look at your pathfinding, whatever you want to do. Okay, so here's my map. So typically you would close your mission editor, you'd go and find the mission files in the mod, and you find your map folder, and you would simply copy those over to there, and then you restart your editor and away you'd load them up. But you can also, we know their name, 00 underscore 2, so I can mission, save as, already got some mission files in there, save it as 00, save as 00 underscore 2. Then leaving the editor open, go into here, I can copy both of them, simply paste them in here, place the. Now when I go back in here, load them, map file, mission file, sorry. Right, so the big difference between 00 and 00 underscore 2 is simply the way the triggers are laid out. Here in 00, they're simply laid out. I mean, they're stacked up in layers, but if you load underscore 2 version, they're simply packed up a bit neater. So they're all still there in the same format, exactly the same. They're just packaged up in one folder, so if you're building a greater, bigger mission, you can keep that all out of the way. Okay. So now that the mission's on the map, all we have to do is position the different elements. Okay. So Alt-T will show the tag. So these are where the vehicles spawn. These two here are where the link stuff is going to happen. Now also it's very important when you're doing this is that this purple line gets extended back and all your spawning and stuff takes place outside visible area, but it has to also be within purple line. So you might have to go into F2, you might have to grab your line and move that, and when you do that, make sure you save your map and reload it so it updates it. So then we just place, these are the points that our plane will spawn at and then return to and get deleted. These are basically markers, one's for where bombs get dropped and the other is for the paratroopers when they get dropped. Scripts are dependent on these two. These are all placeholders basically. It uses the tags to reference each one. Moving these where we want them, and you can move these all around. There. This little marker here is the marker that becomes visible briefly to show where you've selected for your units to move to. Okay, so place them around roughly. Now the whole mission is dependent only on 3 waypoints. And I've named them pretty high, so they shouldn't conflict with existing if you're merging this with another mission later on. We'll show you how to do that. But if you're doing that, Hopefully I've named these high enough so they don't conflict with anything. So 113 solely relates to when bombs are dropped through the unique smoke grenade that's been created. 112 is the waypoint that everything spawns at. And 111 is tied to all the reinforcement buttons. So basically when you look at the reinforcements and the waypoint here, it's always 1111. All of them use just the one waypoint. Basically, instead of using an act at a waypoint command, move the troops onto the map, it uses just an action with a move command. That way we can get away with having to put a waypoint for every single reinforcement button. We can get away with one unique one. Okay. So, save that. And everything should pretty much be in place. Press start. You'll notice all their markers disappear, except these two here. The only reason they haven't is Discover's still on. So what's happened is through a script, the others are told to be undiscovered. So we untick that, and they disappear too. So that's all that's really happened here. The other thing that got added during the script was the player. Where are we? On mission start. Up there, infantry blue, which are infantry spawn. It's been added the player tag, so that's important for the script. And the discovered was turned off. You don't have to have that on. You can leave that off. You can have discovered on. That'll make them visible during your gameplay, so it's up to you what you do there. You can edit that. The reason the player tag gets added, because you could theoretically make it where you've got several clips. So when you move up the mission, move along progression, another section opens up, and you could take through script, you could take tag player off of there. You could have another line of spawn points up here somewhere or on the side. You could get tagged player and then work. Because the way it works is you pick a spot, little blue marker stays there for a second. Then when we press one of these, the nearest infantry spawn point at this point was chosen. So another point over here. Paradrop, and you'll see the paratrooper marker get placed there. This you'll pick the nearest aircraft point, the plane in it. Over there, troops are getting spawned and attached. They're getting cloned and attached to spawning parachutes. Plane gets near this point. It's really that easy to just put it on an existing map and have a bit of fun. It's a great way to be building your map, is be able to just test it at any moment, which is pretty much why I made this in the first place. Okay, cheers.